I was somebody who was raised in church, and I was somebody who was trying to live my life right. And in 2019, I was put in a situation where I had to use my weapon and fire my gun. And three pulls of the trigger changed my life forever. 5 seconds worth of time altered the course of my life for the next 3 years. And it affected everybody around me. And at the time, I was involved in my church, and I had to let that go because they arrested me, and I went to Cook County Jail, and they released me with an ankle bracelet. And for 19 months, I was on house arrest. And I was a single parent at the time, and I couldn't tell my kids because they were 7 and 8 years old, and I didn't want them to worry. And the whole time I was tore up inside, not knowing what was going to happen with my life. And they charged me with 2 felonies: aggravated discharge of a weapon and reckless discharge of a weapon, which is a Class 4 and a Class 1 felony in the state of Illinois. Class 1 felony carries a sentence of probation of 15 years in prison if I'd have been convicted. Reckless discharge of a weapon carries a sentence of probation of 1 to 4 years in jail if I would have been convicted. And 6 months prior to that, I had told God, I want you to break me. I want you to make me the man who you need me to be. And it was easier said than done, but looking back at my life, I wouldn't have changed a thing, and I wouldn't have changed a prayer, because what I went through and what I saw and what I had to deal with in my own mind truly did break me. And it's in the breaking seasons of those breaking moments that your character is defined. And it's in those times when you're in your lowest positions that your faith is challenged the most. And it was truly a battle of my faith versus my felonies, where I saw the worst of a situation, and I still had to rely and hope on God that He can deliver me out of that situation. And when they arrested me that night, they put me in a jail cell. And I had made a decision prior, 6 months before that I said, God, I was going to praise you regardless. I was going to worship you no matter what, and I wasn't going to deny you. And no matter what I go through, no matter what I break, no matter what you break, I'm still going to praise you. As long as I got breath in my lungs, I'm going to praise you. And they put me in the jail cell, and I did just that. Before I got charged with any felonies, before I knew what was going to happen with my situation, before I knew anything, before I was able to go home and hold my children, before I was able to see any type of freedom, I praised God in a jail cell. And I would love to say that the prison doors opened like Paul and Silas, but they didn't. They stayed locked. And I stayed behind them. But no matter how long those doors stayed locked, I didn't stop praising them. And it was the words in the scriptures that the people around me instilled in me as a child the word of God that I was put inside my own heart, that was my foundation in a rough season, that was my foundation in the midst of my worst season, that it was my bread that I was able to eat on when nobody else was there for me, when nobody else was there to save me, when nobody else could fight my battle for me, when the only thing that I could do was stand on my own 2 feet and rely on God to go before me. When I stood in front of an Illinois court system and I stood in front of an Illinois judge, it was God who I relied on. And I didn't stop praising him. It was 19 months where everything was stripped away from me. It was 19 months where I didn't know if I was going to go back to jail. It was 19 months of I don't know what my future looks like. It was 19 months of where my life is completely paused. And I don't know if I'm going to have to see my sons through prison glass. But God is one who restores. And I know that it is my praise and my decision beforehand and my choices during that he went before me and 2 felonies got reduced down to a misdemeanor. And my lawyer looks at me and says, Chaz, you don't understand. You don't understand the magnitude of what's happening to you. You don't understand the magnitude of what is being done right now. Because when you get charged with these felonies, when someone gets hit with this class, you go to jail and you don't get to come home. This is unheard of. And I told my lawyer, it might be unheard of, but I got a God who does the impossible. I got a God who turns things around for my good. I got a God who goes before me, and he already knew that 2 felonies were going to be reduced down to a misdemeanor. I got a God who is bigger than the Illinois court system. I got a God who is bigger than that judge. I got a God who is bigger than the prosecutor. I got a God who had a plan for me. And I don't know why 3 years of my life was a part of that plan. But I know he was there for me. And I don't know what you're going through today. I don't know what you've seen in your life. I don't know what dark valley you've had to walk through. But I'm here to tell you today that there is a God who is with you through it all. There is a God who goes before you. There is a God who still loves you. There is a God that still has your back. There is a God that is still looking out for you in every situation. He's still God. The same God who parted the Red Sea, the same God who was with Daniel in the lion's den, the same God who was with Joseph in Pharaoh's house, the same God who was there with Jesus on the cross is the same God who is with you in the midst of your season. He is still the same